Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our 9-month Ultimate World Cruise adventure. And we are back on our original itinerary after our diversion around Africa. We've made it to Corfu, Greece, and we're going to show you some beautiful highlights of this wonderful Grecian paradise.
Welcome to Living Phase 2.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Nancy, and we're empty nesters striving to live life to the fullest.
And we're living that full life aboard Royal Caribbean's 9-month Ultimate World Cruise on Serenade of the Seas.
We are, well, friends, today we are on the island of Corfu here in Greece, and it is just beautiful. We have a shore excursions group, a tour planned where we're going to see the highlights of Corfu, although there's not a lot of highlights in Corfu. There's a lot of beautiful beaches and just
Cafes
beautiful scenery. But as far as highlights, there's not a whole lot to show, but
Right.
we'll show you they showed us.
We're going to show you what there is.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
well, we started out our tour. We were in really nice Mercedes vans, 19 passenger vans, and so we were off to a good start here. And the first place that they took us was to the Monastery of the Virgin. And this is a beautiful church that has these wonderful overlooks throughout the city and over the ocean, and it just gorgeous and beautiful. The church is beautiful on the inside, very ornate.
Yeah, I think almost any tour you take that's going to show you any of the highlights or things that aren't a beach or a taverna is going to take you to this monastery. The monastery is very famous. And yeah, and it, again, if nothing else for the overlooks, but the church itself, the museum, it was really quite interesting. It is a obviously Greek Orthodox chapel, and so it has a lot of icons. I found one very interesting that one of the lamps was donated by a pilot who survived an airplane crash, and so he donated that, and the lamp is shaped like a little airplane, so I thought that was pretty neat.
Right.
But yeah, I enjoyed that stop a lot. That is one stop that almost everybody's going to go to, and it's worth it. It's a worthwhile
Nice stop
to see, and just take your time and explore the monastery and all the things that are there to see. As we were driving around, we saw quite a few of the beaches. They pointed out different ones to us, and to me, that's really what Corfu's about. That's what going to the Greek islands about. It's going to a taverna, having a nice Greek meal, having a glass of Grecian wine, and just enjoying the sights and the beach and the water. I mean, that's what can really make a Grecian tourism experience. So we decided to kind of hit those highlights without spending that day at the beach, and kind of save that if we make it back, and we'll talk about that more to the end. Well, the first stop we had after the monastery then, and seeing some of the beaches, was a little taverna, and have that experience of a small plate little appetizer.
Right, it was called Columbo Taverna. Yeah, taverna, it means cafe, and so we had some meat and cheese. There was a little grape leaf that was wrapped up inside the grape leaf was some quinoa, and we had some wine there. So it was a good little stop.
Yeah.
But by the way, the wine was very average, though.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was just a simple table wine.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
But it was an interesting. It was funny how the tour was put together, because we had this little stop at this taverna, and by the way, right outside that taverna was one of the oldest olive trees in all of Corfu. So we got
How many years old did they say?
Oh gosh, 300 or 600 years old. Yeah, it was huge.
I'm thinking 300 is what they told us.
And it's quite impressive, actually. But yeah, they took us to this appetizer, then we all got back into the van, and then we went to lunch. And so I think it's just how timing worked out with our particular group. But so then we took off from the taverna and we went to lunch.
And lunch was at a place called the Pump House, and there we had some moussaka and wine. The moussaka is kind of a Greek lasagna type
pasta dish,
and we had a Greek salad along with that. And it was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. When we lived in Germany, I had a friend whose wife was Greek, and so he would always take me to this one Greek restaurant, and the moussaka, the pasticcio was always really good there. And I got a taste for a particular type of wine, a Grecian wine called Ratsina. And Ratsina is a white wine that is then aged in raw, not charred, but raw pine barrels. And so it absorbs some of the pine flavor, the flavor of the pine, sap and tar, and so it's a very, very unique wine. And I ordered, and I talked to our guide, and she's like, "Oh, Retsina," and I'm like, "Yeah, I love it. It goes great with moussaka." And so she went to the owner of the restaurant. And he brought out, because they had wine on the table for it, and he brought a carafe of Retsina out for us all to try. And I would say it's probably 50-50 of our friends who liked it and didn't like it, because it is a very unique flavor.
I did not
You,
care
you
for
don't
it at
like it,
all.
but I do.
No.
And again, it's the lamb and really strong flavors. So if you ever get a chance, try Retsina if you're ever in Greece. You can get it in the States. It's a little more difficult, or in different parts of the world. But certainly when you're in Greece, if you order Retsina, you'll be able to try it. So give it a try, and leave a comment if you've tried it, if you like Retsina or not. We'd like to. Well, and speaking of leaving a comment, while you're looking down there on the comment line, just reach down and be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you join our Phase 2 flock here and follow along with our entire 9-month Ultimate World Cruise adventure.
After lunch there, then we went to, he took us downtown, and so we walked around the downtown. I'm always on the quest or the lookout for a Christmas ornament, and we went inside a sweet little shop. It was a woodworking shop. The owner actually does the various wood carvings with a scroll saw or a jigsaw and different things. And so I've got a little ornament of the Holy Family, so Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus, and that was very, very sweet. He's got to speak with his wife for a little bit. So,
yeah, you can see his tools and everything. He does the woodworking right there, and he had just stepped out for a minute and we missed him. But no,
it was very meaningful.
I like that. Yeah, I like when we can
made
find
it
like
right
that.
There.
Yeah, I like when we can find that. So we strolled around the downtown, and this is something we actually really enjoyed. This, to me, is what Corfu's about. Just strolling the streets, finding a cafe, and there was lots of different cafes, and just enjoying the day. And we saw the highlights and the overview, so we've kind of checked that off our list. And those are the kind of things that I think when you go to a place the first time, a lot of times you do that. You hit the tourist things or the things to see, and then you can really relax into the city and enjoy it.
So true.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't have a lot of time downtown, but we did get a couple pieces of baklava.
Oh, so good. Okay. Okay. I'll pass the wine there, but the baklava was absolutely divine.
It was so really
yummy.
good. And it's really real, Mediterranean, we'll say that, either Greek or Turkish baklava. It's not made with a big, heavy honey and syrupy. It's so light. It's still sweet, but it's a much lighter syrup that they put on it. It was very good. It was real good. Well, we did have to get back on the bus, and they gave us a ride back to the ship. Yeah. And and that was kind of our day in Corfu. It was a quick day, not a lot of time in port.
Sailed away. It was just a beautiful sunset, and we sailed straight into the sunset. It was just gorgeous. So beautiful sail away there.
Yeah. We were up on deck and just kind of stood there up on the bow of the ship, and I was standing behind you, and we were doing our little Titanic thing, and we were all alone up there. It was kind of windy. Nobody else was up there, and the sun just dipped down behind the horizon, and we're like, okay, and we turn around, and there's one of the security guards
right there.
I think, was it Ronald? I think it's or is it Ronald or Gary? And we turn like, oh my gosh, you're right there. And he's like, I didn't want to disturb you. I wanted to let you have your sunset, because at sunset they have to close the helicopter
Helipad.
Because they don't want anyone down there, because it's within view of the bridge, and they wouldn't want somebody down there with a light that could then take away the night vision from the people on the bridge. So they do open the helipad from sunrise to sunset, and he was very kind to let us have our sunset. But it's funny, him back there just watching.
Yeah.
So, but tomorrow we go to Bari, Italy. Yeah, we're making our stop in Bari, Italy. This is one that we're hoping you tune into, because we are actually going to put together an entire video on cruise ship excursions, or just different excursions. Even if you're in a town and you're working with like Viator or something like that, we've had some real interesting incidences, as you may have, if you look back at, as example, Angola. But in this case, in Bari, we had a real bait and switch, and we've had a few of them to do that. They advertise one thing, and then they end up delivering another. And so we hope you tune into that, because we're going to give you a few tips and warnings of how to avoid that. So.
All right, well, Mike, before we let him go here, would you go back to Corfu?
Yes, I mean, I think we will because we're already talking about doing a Mediterranean cruise, and almost any Mediterranean cruise is going to stop in Corfu. So I'm sure we will be back, but if we do, I want to do more water sports and really go down to the beach and just kind of
Okay,
do it on
fair
our own
enough.
and enjoy it. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
mhm.
All right, friends. Well, thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate you being here and hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.